Hello and welcome to episode 12 of TextWired podcast. My name is Aman Singh and I'm the host of the show. Today I have a very old friend on the show who's like a brother to me. His name is Dave. Dave, brother, welcome to the show.
Glad to be here. This is the first time you're saying I'm like a brother to you, but you didn't even say I'm your friend. Come on, man. What am I? A brother or a friend? Yeah?
uh, I'm not sure if brother from another mother helps here, but okay.
Fair enough. Fair enough. So
Yeah.
let's
So
talk.
yeah, today I got you on the show because I want to discuss about the dynamics of family textile business. Okay, now family business is something that can be looked in a very good light or a bad light. But when it doesn't
Yes,
work
you're
out for people, man, it's just a crisis. Like it's next level crisis. So
I agree.
Dave, I know you have a family like textile family business. How is the situation for you like now and like from the start?
Good question. So, as you've said, my family is also working in the textile business, right?
Yeah.
But I am currently not working with my family. I have tried it at some point and I did not quite like it.
Okay.
So, but the thing is, at least luckily for me, I wasn't forced into the family business,
Oh, that's
right?
nice. Yeah.
So that's the thing. So I gave it a try, and as you know, there are many obstacles in the textile business, which
Yeah,
you
yeah, yeah,
probably
yeah.
which you should know better than me by now because you're a professional at this now at this point.
Yes, yes.
And we'll talk about that too. But yeah, those obstacles and the efforts required were not necessarily what I liked or what I enjoyed. So I left.
Oh, so you just went your own way. Nice. Yeah.
Yep.
But in a more positive way, not like deviating from family, just family
Of course,
business.
of course, of course, of course.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
there are people who went in on the negative path as well, like deviating with fighting, which I
Y-
think is what we're going to talk about today, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like going your own way is usually like sign of like cutting off. But
That's
oh
true. That's
man.
true.
Usually like people in the family end up going into the like family business because that's how they're raised. It was something like a given for a lot of people. Like the path is usually you just go to school, study, graduate, and once you're done with your graduation you just jump into the family business. That's the that's that's what's planned for us anyway. The
Yeah, you're
issue,
right.
yeah, the issue with this is that there is no self discovery in the process. I wouldn't say it is not encouraged, but it is not usually spoken or considered when it is like enforced upon the son or daughter. But
Yeah,
for me, luckily, I didn't feel the pressure from my father. But I still went to study finance, and also like at one point did even consider to pursue career in the field of finance. Even though the textile business was good, personally, it was not like we had a struggling textile family business. It was a good setup, but
mhm,
still the self, just because it wasn't pressured on me, I still had some journey of self discovery before I jumped into one job to another. I did actually give the textile business a try, and guess what? Luckily, it just worked out for me. I actually liked the clothing and textile industry, so that was something I did not discover as like part of my self discovery. And I always thought just because it was enforced on me, I would. That it was always a like more of a backup thing rather than trying to learn textile like in the first place. So
yeah, but
but now I think it really worked out for me because personally I know it worked out because I like if there's something that requires me to learn or to experiment something, I don't hesitate. I am actually more I'm not procrastinating to learn anything new. That's how it's working for me.
that is amazing, really.
Yeah,
That
what?
you actually tried the textile business and you actually liked it, right?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
So
That's it.
yeah, my story is quite similar to you. I mean, as a kid, it's not that I was forced into it, but I was encouraged to do it, as you said.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Eventually get a good degree and then join the family business, right?
yeah.
I never agreed to it, never had a fight, but I always mentioned that no, this is not what I want to do. But then the pressure, well, it is still there that okay, when you grow up, even if you go out on your own, you could always come back to the family business. And there's
Yeah,
always
yeah.
this little pressure behind you to join the family business, right?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
So, yeah.
Like you
So
don't you,
eventually,
You don't
Yeah.
100% get into it because
Yep.
you still get like a side, how do you say, like a side, like there's somebody on your shoulder just keeps reminding you of family business.
Yeah. Yeah. If it wasn't your family, it would be your cousins or your someone else. So they will
Yeah,
always
yeah,
be
yeah,
there,
yeah.
right?
Definitely. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
So eventually, when I gave the family business a try, well, there's always a generation gap, if you will. Like I want to do something my way. My parents would do something their own ways. You know.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I get it. That's yeah. That's where I was coming at next. Good, good.
Mm.
You brought it up. So, it's
Yeah.
like, what do you think is good or bad about like joining the family business, especially in relation to textile? Because you are also in the textile business, and so am I. So I want to like discuss like what's good and what's not good, like how it doesn't work out for a lot of people. Like,
Uh, so yeah, I get you. So let's start with what's not good, right?
yeah,
I
yeah,
think let's start with the
yeah,
more meaty part of the conversation.
yeah, yeah. Fair enough.
So, like I said, the generation gap, the way we think, right?
Yeah.
Especially if you're a new generation like us, you would want to use the internet to its full capacity. And
Right.
sometimes, for example, let's talk about keeping ledgers, right? Keeping
Yeah.
accounts or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So we can have our own ways. You know what? It would be much more convenient if you use this new software, that
Mm.
software, and then the people who are already doing it, who has been doing this business, who has been in this business for tens and 20 years, they would think
Mm.
we didn't have to do it. We're still fine. So why should we waste even more money, right?
Right. 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 The learning
So
curve to that, it doesn't really feel important because like
exactly.
why.
So
Yeah, I think like
yeah,
in that case, it's not about why try to fix something that's not broken. It's more about how to make things more efficient rather than
exactly,
a
exactly.
solution. Yeah.
So getting this point across can be challenging. I mean, it did not happen to me exactly. It happened to a friend of mine who is also in a textile business
Mm.
and also a family textile business. And him and his family will initially they fought a lot because of this. He wanted to bring new ways to improve the workflow, as it
Mm.
were.
Right, right,
His
right.
family business, his family side of it, was against it in the beginning. It took
Oh.
him a lot of convincing to get his point across, but it wasn't pretty at first.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
there's also another point where, when you're a younger generation, you have your own ideas, right? You've seen a different world. You think, okay, if I do this, it could make a difference. And sometimes you have their parents who are not exactly supportive of that.
Right,
Some
right.
parents just want to come in and continue what they've done,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
right? So it also depends on the interpersonal family dynamic.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah. Like
in my
communication, yeah, communication is the whole thing that we'll get into. Like, yeah,
oh
but
yeah, that's a different beast of its own.
yeah, so
But
I understand the like where the cons are coming from because it's more about like a clash about what I want and what's already being done. Like,
exactly. So
where is your authority to change anything
yeah,
in something
yep,
that is
you're right.
already running? So I
And
think
this is
that's
this is why
where the
I
clash comes
mentioned
in.
before that I was lucky that I joined my family business when I did, because before I joined my family business, I had already tried doing some things on my own. So I've had other bosses before, right?
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
I have kind of learned how to communicate my point across and manage my expectations.
Yes, I
So
think.
I did not jump into the family business right after university. I did
Yeah.
it after I had some actual work experience in a completely unrelated field. So when I joined the family business, I'm like, yes, my family's working here. I am the son of the boss, whatever. But I know that
You know how
I
to
don't
run
have
things.
knowledge
Yeah.
to actually do business yet. So I have to
Yeah.
manage my own expectations. I have to start learning again. And
Yeah.
I was very concise, very precise with what I wanted to learn, what I know, what I didn't know. I would say, okay, why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? Like a student asking a teacher, right?
Yeah.
So going to a family business with that mindset that, yes, even though you are the child of the people who are running the business, that
Yeah.
doesn't mean you know everything yet. If you go with
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
mindset, then you can minimize conflicts.
Yeah. Yeah.
But if you
Definitely.
go in with the mindset that, hey, yo, I'm the offspring of this family and everything is mine, I'm gonna do what I want, then yeah,
Yeah, it's
you're
just
gonna
the it's the king attitude. Like what you say is set in stone.
yep, you're gonna
That's
end
it.
up with a fight.
Yeah, it's just hard to manage relations. And I like the point that you brought up, that working somewhere else before you join the family business, it might not teach you everything about family business, but it definitely teaches you about the responsibility and the professionalism that it requires to be in a business. For starts, like just basic understandings of business can. But yeah, I think in a family business, having some prior experience in any other field, just at least it teaches you the means of working somebody and what it is to get orders. That's very important, because that actually helps to build the communication between. It can be with our parents, or it can be with a staff at different levels also. So that I think
True.
that's one good thing about family business, that you can get into it with the knowledge, with minimum knowledge also. But yeah, it does require a learning curve. And also the good thing about uh, the having a family business is that there is already a setup for you. Like luckily, if family business is something that works out for you, then there is no need to start from scratch. There is no need to struggle at a very low level. Obviously, running a
Exactly.
business, being an entrepreneur, is a struggle, is the only thing that's there. But you don't have to struggle. You are not building something to, like, building from scratch. You are trying to grow. You are more in the growing
Exactly.
stage rather than building from scratch. So I think that usually takes some pressure off, because you already have some relationships built through your family networks and their people. You already have some customers, so it does give you a good setup for you to at least collect some information from a good source. So, and it's a good, how do you say, like, you get good first-hand information to learn. And such experience and such informations you don't usually get from working with somebody else. Like if you are working for a company, the information that you require to make decisions at a managerial level, that will never get to you, because you are not there. But then when you're in a family business, information just flows to you from every different like segments of business, like given it finance, marketing, or sales, or customers, whatever. All the information just comes to you, and you have to be able to manage all of that. So I think getting early in the family business does puts you in a lot of, like, challenging position, and it actually helps you to grow. But but given a huge but, is because
Yeah.
if only it works out for you. Otherwise, if your mind and heart is not into it, it's just an attack every single morning, which I'm sure is
That is
not pleasing to look
yeah,
forward to
that
every
is
single day.
equivalent to going to a job you don't like.
Yeah, because responsibilities are high, stakes are high on you, people are looking
Yeah.
forward to you. The staffs in your business, like, their salary depends on your decisions and your experience of work. Oh man. So I
Yeah.
think
But
if
here's the
you're
thing,
not
right?
into it, no man, it's just a no
I
go.
really like what you said about if you join a family business and you liked it. A positive point of it is that you don't have to build your business empire from scratch. There's something waiting for you to take it and grow it, right?
Right.
That's a very good thing because if you're starting on your own, you have to start from scratch. And if you work in a business or if you work for a company, then well, you'll always be under someone's control, right?
Yeah.
You might have to climb the corporate ladder, but you will be stuck in the corporate ladder as it were. So
Yeah.
the only way out is to be an entrepreneur and start everything from scratch. But joining a family business is also entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
Just that you have something ready for you, and once you learn the ins and outs of the family business, you can take it and grow it as much as you want, right?
Exactly. Exactly.
And another good point, a positive point about family business is that once you get your points across, like once you know what you want to do, once every other members of your family in the business know what you want to do, and once you have that acceptance that okay, we are part of this, you have a lot of support. That's the
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even though
Yeah.
they might not agree with everything, which is the natural case of everything in the world, nobody can agree with you 100%.
Right.
But when you want to, let's say, okay, you have an idea, you want to try this and try that, if you already pass all the prerequisites, right? If everybody accepted you already that yes, he's going to be in the family business, he or she is going to be in the family business,
Yeah.
then yeah, you will get a lot of support to try and experiment new things.
Yeah,
and that will encourage you to try even more, and
yeah,
chances of success could be higher.
yeah. Like you accepting your no, your not inexperience, like you accepting your challenges. I think that's,
Yeah,
and other people actually appreciating you rather than trying to fake it till you make it.
exactly.
Rather than if you, then people are actually more willing to help you out. Like, okay, he's somebody new, he's not so sure, so it's, they consider you like, okay, you are new, you're trying to work it out. When somebody see you working hard, they want to be ready to
I
like
want to
help
help
you
you.
out whenever you need. So, and if they
Yeah,
are your staff, they will definitely give you support. So it puts you in a more leadership position rather than like an owner position. I think that's a
definitely.
very, very good take. Yeah, I like that point. Yeah, and also that having the point of leadership, it actually brings me to the next point about the whole communication issue. So
Hmm.
usually what I have noticed personally, so when I got into it, there was a huge clash between my father and me. It's not a clash
Yeah,
between what he wants and what I want. Both of us are thinking for the growth of the business. Everybody wants to move ahead, everybody wants to grow, everybody wants to make more money, get more profit, get more consumers. But still, why is there a clash if we both want the same thing? So what I think is, like the point you brought up earlier, is that there is a difference in mindset. Is what I feel is actually, that's kind of like, uh, how do you say, disrupting the communication. Is because like we have a new idea, and the whole, and like our parents are already doing it for like quite some time. Like how you mentioned, like one of your friend, he's not being able to communicate with his father and actually has like disputes regarding what his father already is doing, like the ledger thing. So bringing a like ERP system, enterprise resource planning system in the company actually makes things more efficient. So just because we have a new idea to make things more efficient, and what other businesses are doing it right now, I think being able to communicate that to make things more efficient, and making your father and your staff see the positive of your idea is actually very important. And that only comes when you are open to do something and build a relationship with your father. It cannot be like, I have a good point, so we have to do this. We have to understand of how other people foresee the same situation.
yeah,
Like the learning curve that I require, and the learning curve the my the and the employee or my father requires, it's not the same. So I have to consider that before I implement an idea or a change. So I think that's the first thing about communication, is before showing like what you know, it's very important to understand what the other people know and how much they know. So
yeah.
this is one communication point, and I'll tell you a story. It's it's very funny about, because I
Bring
was
it
trying
on.
to, yeah, I was trying to explain minimalism to my father. Now, if you just think about the word minimalism, talking to your father, it's like, it's just your father's just gonna say like minimalism. He'll just conclude it like minimalism is what? It's just wearing what you wear at home. That's minimalism. But that's what my because when right now there's a lot of like minimalistic fashion is a concept where people are just trying to dress down, or like not, it's like trying to reduce the whole fancy aspect of like clothing. So that's more like minimalism. Like, not,
Yeah,
no, it's not too funky, not, it's just something very sober. So that's a whole trend actually. So I was actually talking
very
to my
true.
dad, and I was explaining him about how we can look into the whole minimalistic fashion. And he was like, what? Like he got actually confused. He was like, this is just like, for him it's the daily wear that people wear at home. But right, like
But
in a whole
that's a
industry
small
level,
trend out there, right?
yeah, like there is a segment for that specific thing. And he just didn't really understand.
Yep,
So,
you're right. You're right. With the with the minimalistic thing, that is true. I mean,
yeah.
right now people are also, what's that word? I mean, organic fashion.
Or
Is that a thing? Organic fashion. I mean,
yeah,
like organic food. They are sustainable. Sorry, that's the word I was looking for.
yeah,
Sustainable
sustainable.
clothing,
Yeah, yeah,
sustainable
sustainable.
fashion.
Yeah, yeah,
That is in a way minimalistic as well, and it is a concept that the younger generations are more familiar with because we've seen it on social media, right?
yeah, 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 definitely.
There's a market, as you said, but this market usually exists only on social media, where younger generations like us, where we're familiar with. The elder generations, like our parents' generations, who do not use that much social media, might not even know that this market exists at all. And
Yeah,
it's a huge market. That's the thing.
yeah,
So
they
good luck
need to be
explaining it.
educated. Yeah, talk about sustainability, that actually brings me to like, oh, it's a whole another topic to begin with. like like my point is, sustainability is something that like our parents, if you believe it or not, some of them don't really understand the whole concept of sustainability, like the whole thing about reusing something that's already like, they understand sustainability in more of a concept of recycling. Like for them,
Yeah,
recycling is sustainability, but sustainability as a concept is not only recycling. Recycling
yeah,
is under sustainability, is a part of the whole sustainability. But for them, just
correct.
because you recycle something, and you know how we have the mainstream examples of recycling straws and stuff, recycling something plastic, that like that is sustainable for them. But that's not where the story ends. So just because I have an idea that I want to communicate, or like I want other people, I want like the marketing team to like look into like how we can promote our products. So I really had to, I was really like surprised about how well the people in the family business understand the whole concept of minimalism, or like sustainability. Man, I felt like I had to be a teacher first to like teach them the concept like let alone like running a business, because if my staff doesn't really understand it, how am I going to pursue people outside it? So
Yep.
right.
That's a valuable trick. Like, if you're able to convince your family about new mindsets and new concepts, then chances are you will be able to convince the public, the market as well.
Yes,
I
yes,
mean,
yes. If
you
you
have to know how to communicate. You have to know how to sell. That's the thing.
yes. So if you
Yeah.
cannot
And
convince people at home, then how well will you convince people outside?
exactly,
So
exactly. And
so
talking about selling, right? So when I joined the textile business, right?
your family business, yeah.
Yeah, the family business, the textile business. You know how the payment system works. You pay on credit.
Oh yeah. Oh
Yeah,
man.
this did not make sense to me at all. Perhaps you would like to explain what paying on credit means to your listeners.
Okay.
As someone who's working in textile, it would be better coming from you.
Yeah, okay. So before I get into like the business aspect, because it is credit issue is actually like, how do you say, like a bummer when it comes to textile
It
like
is.
family
It
business.
is.
Because okay, for listeners, I'll just explain what how the basic textile business runs. It's usually the whole thing runs on credit. So even
Yeah.
if you have a very good product you are willing to sell, people actually at least ask for about 3 months of credit or 4 months of credit, and that makes it very difficult for you to, how do you say, try new things. Because if you are getting your payment, it's just it adds up a lot of liability to your business. So a lot of your investments that you have, your capital that you have made into the business, it just ends up being a liability. Like you still have to collect money from a lot of people. About like your payment comes like after 3 months or 4 months, so by the time you have enough turnover, like enough capital to
Yeah.
reinvest and do something and try to sell something again with the same capital, it just slows the whole process down. Like I suppose I have cotton fabric and I have a customer who is going to sell, who's going to make shirts, cotton shirts. So I sell him about 5,000 or 6,000 meters of cotton. And then he will ask me for, I think, 3 months of payment, which is like, okay, I'm going to buy from you today, but I'm not going to pay you in a month or 2 months. It's going to be 3 months. And
Yeah.
usually if you talk about like, oh, can we make a payment contract where you're going to pay us after like 3 months? It's not a thing. Like you cannot put contracts in front of people and be like, are you definitely going to pay 3 months? He will be
Yeah.
like, okay,
That's the thing. That's the thing. The
yeah,
textile business, your customers will pay you on
at,
credit, so they'll pay like a few months afterwards. And if you
yeah,
ask them, okay, can you sign a contract that you will actually pay? They would be like, no. And then there would be other sellers who are willing to take that risk. If you don't
yeah,
take that risk, you lose the customer, right? So
exactly. So
you have to take that risk. And that didn't make any sense to me. So when I asked
exactly.
my parents, like, okay, why are you doing this? Why don't you just take the money upfront or let them sign it? The response I got was, well, if we don't do it, the vendors will, and we'll lose the customer. And I looked around. It's not just my family business. It's literally every textile family business or every textile business really that I know of work on credit.
Yes, definitely. And I think this is where the whole thing about relationship comes in, because when I discuss about the whole
Exactly,
credit thing,
exactly.
yeah, I was actually speaking about like future plans, about like how, like what we're going to do and how we're going to do. So I was actually discussing with my father, and I said, okay, we can try this thing, we can try introduce this concept to a customer and see how they respond and stuff. But then I was actually, so my father actually brought a point at that moment, like, okay, you have good ideas, but do you know, if you introduce this concept to your customer, he's going to pay you after 4 months. So what are you going to do about that? And I was like, I just got shocked at like 1 second, like for a second I was like, actually that makes sense. I'm working so hard, I'm trying to develop a concept, or like try to just provide something new for my customer, but then just to know that he's not going to pay me, he's going to pay me after 4 months, which if the market conditions are right, he will pay me, but if not,
Yeah,
then you don't know. Like you
exactly.
don't know. That's the whole thing, you don't know. It works on mutual trust. So luckily,
Yeah,
there are like good relationship that my father has built over the years during his time. So we are working mainly on that trust, that
yeah, definitely.
I am actually getting the benefit of that trust. Otherwise, if I was
Exactly.
to start from zero, oh man, I would run away from textile to
Yeah,
begin with. I would
exactly. So
run away.
we're getting back to the point of positivity that you said that you don't have to build on scratch, right? You don't have to build a business from scratch. And
Yeah.
this is especially true for textile, where you already have trust built into the community. You're
Right.
just a new person in the same company, and your customers already trust that company. So you
Yeah.
don't have to go and find new customers again. That's a very positive point. It's a very, very valid point. Like if
Yeah.
you want to start a new textile business, you need to have lots of contacts. You need to have lots of trust. And family business is one way you can short circuit that and start at the well, maybe not at the top, but not at the bottom. You might start somewhere higher, in the middle, maybe.
Yeah,
So it's a good point.
yeah, I think maybe that's why, just because I had some interest in the textile industry, I was actually able to work through it and like learn from it, because I already had like, my father had like good relations with his customers for like, I don't know, 10 or 15 years. So whatever my work was that I was doing was based on that trust. But then if I was to look some like for some new customer, and he would purchase something, I don't know what's the guarantee that he's going to pay me in a month. So, and if you
Yeah,
ask somebody like, okay, I need the money right away, like in like by tomorrow, or you have to give me write a check like as soon as you can, he will just go to your computer next door. Like
yep,
there's no question asked. Like it's
yeah,
either
yeah.
yes or no. Either you agree to all the terms of the buyer, or you just walk
It's the
away.
rule of the game.
It's the
It's
rule
the
of the
rule of
game.
the game.
Either
That's
you
how
ex-
that's how this game's played. That's how the game runs.
yeah, it's
So
all about, it's more about it's no it's more about building relations and like managing people and
yeah,
relations and expectations, rather than doing the actual business. That's where the
exactly.
game is.
Yeah, yeah.
The game is like people. The whole business is with people. So no matter like if your products are expensive or like your fabrics are cheap, it's fine. But if your customers are ready to pay, or and you are
Yeah.
like sure that you will get your money, then you feel like doing something more for the customers or do something. But then if you
Oh,
have no
definitely.
guarantee
Mhm.
that whatever you're going to do they're going to pay you, then you just don't know. You just get confused, like what am I supposed to do now? Like there is no answer for
This
that.
is similar to all businesses. I would say that you have to build trust with your customers, right?
Right,
I
right,
mean,
right.
after giving the family business, the textile business, a try, I mean, it's not that I didn't like the textile business. I didn't hate it. I didn't like it. I just found it a bit tedious. It's a bit too boring for my tastes.
Right,
So
right,
I
right.
went out, I started something on my own, and now I'm a tutor, and that is pretty much fun for
You're
me.
calling. I would say.
Yeah, could be, it could be. We never know. Ask me
Right.
again in 10 years. If I'm still teaching, then yeah, it's my calling. But as of now, I still have to build trust with my customers, as in the parents of my students, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Sometimes
yeah.
they would ask questions. I have to convince them, yes, I got this. I know I can teach your children. I have to convince them that I can do the job. before they would pay me to teach their children, right?
Yeah, yeah,
So it is, in the sense, building trust as well. The
yeah,
only
yeah.
difference is that for the parents, they might ask for some trial periods. Okay, I'm gonna try 10 hours first, see how it goes. And after 10 hours, even if the students enjoy studying with you, the parents would try to convince you otherwise. Okay, 10 hours are gone. We're going to find someone else. Just because they're parents, right? It's,
Yeah, they can,
again,
they can. They have a
it's,
choice. It's
it's
part
just
of the
what people,
service.
yeah, it's just what people do. So all I have to do is like, okay, sure, if you want to, you can. I can recommend some good people. But if you continue with me, this is what we're going to do in the future. This is the benefits. There could be some drawbacks. And I lay them out for them. Build trust. Try to gain their confidence. Again.
Right,
So
right, right.
yeah,
But when
this
they
building
accept your offer, they just straight
trust,
away pay you. But then what if I was to say, okay, you teach them for a month,
yeah,
and then one that's done, I will pay you 2 months after that, and then you'll be like, no.
yeah, exactly,
If your money
exactly.
is being
So
holded, you just don't want to provide anything extra. Like you don't want
exactly.
to
So
do the
this is
extra
the
mile.
difference between my tutor business and your textile business, the
Yeah.
payment system.
Right,
But if you
right,
can
right.
handle it, like if you can play by the rules of that game, then you could go pretty far.
Yes, yes, definitely. I think the volume is great if you have a good relation with the right people, and uh, your products are also fine. You are creating. Then I think it opens a huge room. There's a huge potential to earn, but
Definitely,
but it
definitely.
does require like 3-4 year experience of just building relationship without any expectations. So if
Yep.
anyone can go through that, then they are in it for the long run. It is like it's a long run game. Textile is a long run game. Otherwise, uh, I don't know. Maybe
It is.
it's
It is a long run game. It is a long run game.
if you're not
But
mentally ready for long run game, and you're not sure about how the communication is with your family, then I would suggest take a break.
yeah,
Otherwise,
figure out what you want, right? And
yeah,
here's the thing too. Like in the long run, if you can make it work, it could actually be worth it because once a customer likes you and likes your product, they might keep on ordering in bigger and bigger volumes. The orders
yeah,
will keep on coming.
yeah, because it's a
Well, I mean,
competitive market. You're not sure how the other person works, so
exactly, exactly.
it's a whole time about trial and error again. So if I can convince a customer and he's very satisfied with my service and my product and like my delivery dates, then it's a lock. It's a done deal. Then I can just trade with him for like next 3-4 years without even thinking about worrying,
Exactly,
about if I'm going
exactly.
to get the money. So that is a good encouragement. So it's a long run
Yeah,
game. If you
yeah.
win,
Here's the
you
thing, because in textile business, customers are, at least from what I've seen, customers are also in it for the long run. They don't want to go to different vendors. They want to find just one supplier or one, I don't know, supplier. Not
reliability. Yeah,
supplier. Yeah, I mean, they just want to find one source to get all their things from, right?
right, right, right.
And if they click with you, they'll want to stay with you for a long time.
Exactly, exactly.
So this is the difference. Like, but for me, as a tutor, parents would be like, you know what? I've heard of some other tutor teaching somewhere further away, but charging a little cheaper, so I might try that one instead.
Okay,
The
okay.
relationship is not the same with the textile business.
Right,
With
right.
tutoring, the parents would always they generally try to find somewhere cheaper, understandably. So it is a tutor's job to convince the parents that you are getting your money's worth with me.
Right,
But
right, right.
and I have to do that constantly,
Yeah,
even with the
it's a
same
different
group.
convincing. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. But with the
Because
textile business,
yeah, it's
once you build a connection with the customer, they will stay with you for the long run.
yeah,
That's
because your everything that you're talking is actually being presented in your product. But then when in a teaching business like you have to keep convincing that, yeah, this is good, this is the update, this is what's new, this is what's
yeah,
happening,
yeah, yeah.
because it's
Exactly.
it's not something they can see. It's something that
Yep.
needs to be updated on. So that's a different product.
Exactly. I mean, the
Right.
students can see, but their parents, so they don't actually believe the students, right? I mean, they don't
Right,
believe
right,
the
right.
children. They're
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
you're a kid, you don't know what you want, you're just enjoying it.
You're
I'm the
just enjoying
parent.
life.
That's what they do.
Yeah, parents
So
are
yeah,
paying, so they have
yep,
more pain.
they're paying, so they have the executive position, I would say.
Right, 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 right. Oh
Yeah.
man. So I think that's a good way of like how like how if somebody goes their own way and like a family business, like I chose family business and you tried to find your own way, even
Yep.
besides having a like despite having a family business. So I think
Yeah.
we have like covered like good points about like what, like if you go the family business way, like what's in it and what's not in it. And for people who like you are not sure about what's in it or not in it, at least they know where to look at. So
Yeah.
I like the whole like the framework of the whole dynamics of the whole textile business and going your way. So I think
Yep.
this whole episode we have covered a lot about the good and the bad and what's
We
important,
did.
what's
I think
not
we did. Yeah.
important, and prerequisite. And like if you go the whole textile, if you go the textile way, what is in it for you and what's not in it like for you, and what you
Yeah.
can get from doing something else. Oh, I think this episode we covered a lot of points, man.
Yeah. Definitely. Definitely. It was good talk.
No, it's definitely a good talk, man. Oh,
Yeah.
thanks. Thanks for on. I think on that note, the episode is getting longer. So I think on that note, I will put an end to this episode.
All right.
Thanks, Dave. Thanks, brother, for coming
No,
on the show and doing
thanks
this
for
with
having
me.
me here, man. Thanks for
Right,
having
right.
me here. Right. Take
Definitely.
care, brother. Take care.
Yes, I look forward to inviting you once again. This is a very good conversation. I had a lot of
Yeah,
fun.
I'll try. I'll try.
Right. You're a busy man.
Yeah. Yeah. All
Okay.
right.
Yeah. Okay. On that note, that will be the end of the episode. I hope this week's episode earned your subscribe and follow. Please, you can definitely reach out to me on my email, which will be linked in the description. And my name is Aman Singh. Let's be an educated shopaholics. I will see you in the next episode next week. Thank you.